This is Barrett.
I'm Brad.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Neil. We're 3 Days Grace, and you're watching Artisan News.
I've been cursed, I've been crushed, I've been beaten by the ones that get me.
3 Days Grace might just be one of the most underrated bands of this generation, and to demonstrate, their just-released album is at number 2, just behind the new Mumford & Sons release, Babel, on the iTunes album chart. The 3 Days Grace effort is titled Transit of Venus, and the collection is an evolution of their sound, with the debut single Chalk Outline already topping the active rock radio chart and steadily moving up the alternative rock chart. Artisan News sat down with 3 Days Grace and asked them what the biggest obstacle was in getting the new collection finished.
I don't know. I mean, we went into the studio this time around with a different approach, sort of really challenging ourselves with going into songs that weren't done. A lot of songs that were half done or a quarter done or, not even written yet. And we wanted to take that approach because we wanted to challenge ourselves and, see what we could do in the studio. We spent about three and a half months in the studio, working, writing, making the record. So, and in the past, we would just, we'd make sure the songs were done and we jump in the studio for a month and get it done and over with. But, yeah, I guess that would have been, that was the biggest challenge, was really going in and really working hard in the studio rather than beforehand.
So what was behind the title Transit of Venus?
Transit of Venus was something that happened on June 5th. It's where you could actually see Venus pass in front of the sun with the naked eye. There was a poem that we had read that was written in 1882 during the last transit of Venus by an astronomer / poet that was talking about, witnessing, seeing this planet, pass in front of the sun, and sort of like, he's talking in this poem about if you were to take a step back and look at what we are, all we are is a little speck, moving through space as well, and kind of just, and it just talks about how when you start to think on that level that all we are is this tiny little dot. It brings a lot of things into perspective. We've always written about, moving through difficult times, moving through problems and the problems of and difficulties that everybody faces. And when you start thinking on that level, it can help help you realize that things that you think are such a huge deal really aren't all the time, and that you can move through it.
3 Days Grace has quietly sold over 6 million albums in the U.S. alone, and they've had 9 chart-topping rock hits, the first one being I Hate Everything About You. Their previous album, Life Starts Now from 2009, debuted at number 3 on the Billboard album chart and spawned 3 number 1 hit singles, Break, The Good Life, and World So Cold, at rock radio formats.